Everyone dreams of living in San Diego. We have perfect weather, we got ocean views, great food, and that laid back California vibe. But here's what most people don't realize. Moving here without really understanding how San Diego works can be one of the most expensive mistakes you will ever make. So that's exactly why I'm making this video. So I'm gonna break down everything from the real cost of living here, from taxes and utilities to hidden fees that trip a lot of people up, why choosing the wrong neighborhood can totally change your lifestyle, and the biggest mistakes I see people make when they're relocating here. My name is Nick, a real estate expert here in San Diego who has helped countless people relocate here to San Diego with confidence by just giving them honest local insight on what they should really know before they hop in and make that decision. So let's start off with breaking down one of the biggest surprises for a lot of people, which is the cost of living. All right, so let's just say it. San Diego is extremely expensive, and it's not just the real estate and home prices, it's everything from utilities to taxes, groceries, all these little things stack up so fast. And even right now, as I film this video, housing is around 112% higher than the US average. And as of the end of 2025, the median home price is sitting right around $936,000. And rent, well, that's roughly $2,900 a month, give or take, depending on the area that you're looking in. Utilities are another thing that catch a ton of people off guard because those are also very high here. You're gonna see utility rates anywhere from about 30 to 40% higher than other parts of the country. Even things like food, clothing, and just your everyday expenses can run 10 to 14% more as well. So yeah, Paradise definitely has a price tag that comes with it. Especially if you're moving from a lower cost area like Texas or Florida, you're gonna find that your comfortable budget does not go nearly as far because you're not just paying a mortgage here when you go to buy a house or rent. You're gonna be paying things like taxes, you're gonna have insurance, maybe an HOA, and maybe even Melrose, which we're all gonna talk about those stuff in a little bit. And before you actually fall in love with the lifestyle here, I think it is extremely crucial to actually crunch the numbers and see if it even makes sense for you here, because there is some really good, more San Diego specific cost of living calculators out there, and just ask it, does your budget actually leave you room for the lifestyle that you want here? Because if it doesn't, it's going to be really important to kind of shift your expectations, and maybe San Diego isn't the best spot for you. The next thing you really need to know is the housing market and the price ranges here, because San Diego's housing market is literally no joke, and you're not just buying a home here, you're literally buying into a lifestyle, a commute, a climate, and a very long-term investment. And even right now, homes in this entire county are averaging right about $930,000, which is really expensive, right? If we're being honest here. And I think it's really important to break it down more so by area, because prices are going to shift. If you're inland, they're going to be a lot different than they are coastal. So let's say you're looking in the more coastal luxury markets like La Jolla or Del Mar or even Encinitas, you can really expect to spend anywhere from $2 million on the low end all the way up to $10 million. Or let's say you're looking for more of those suburban family zones, you know, where you have walkability, good schools, parks in the neighborhood, areas like Poway or Scripps Ranch, San Marcos, even Carlsbad. On the low end, those homes are going to be anywhere from $1.2 million going up to $2 million very easily. Or maybe you're more after like an emerging area or one of those inland zones like Vista or Oceanside, even Otay Ranch. Those are usually going to be $850,000 on the low end, going well up to $1.2 million. And something that is so important in the San Diego market is that trade-off between new construction homes and those established resale homes, right? If you're looking at new construction homes, well, you're going to get newer systems, you're going to get the warranties, but it often means you're going to get smaller lots and higher HOAs. And when it comes to the established homes, well, we have a lot of them here in San Diego, and this is where you're going to find much more character, you're going to see more space, but you need to be prepared for things like older roofs and plumbing systems and that good old deferred maintenance. So my big tip on that is pick 3 neighborhoods that reflect the lifestyle you're looking for. Maybe you want coastal, maybe you want that suburban life, or maybe you want to go inland to get more space. Then go look at what actually sold there, the square footage, lot size, age. That's going to help you align with your expectations so fast. Now let's move on to one of the most uniquely San Diego things, which is our microclimates here. If there's one thing to take away from this video, let it be our microclimates, because San Diego isn't just one city, it's a bunch of micro neighborhoods, each with its own feel, different weather, and of course price tag. Now let me simplify this into 4 very broad zones. First being coastal, you know, areas like La Jolla, Encinitas, Carlsbad, Coronado, Year-round temperature is going to be right around 65 to 75 degrees. You got foggy mornings, beautiful afternoons, but you're going to find smaller lots here, definitely older homes, but the walkability and beach access are amazing. Next is going to be the urban core or central San Diego area. So think of areas like downtown San Diego or Hillcrest or even North Park. This is where temperatures are going to be very similar to the coastal temps of 65 to 75 year round, but you will have a lot less of that marine layer, especially as you get a little bit more inland like North Park. But I will say this is going to be a lot of walkability. You're going to have a ton of restaurants and nightlife, and mostly condos and townhomes. So if you're looking for low maintenance, and it's going to be really good for those younger professionals or people that are just very young at heart. Then you have inland North County, so areas like Fallbrook, Vista, San Marcos, Escondido, even Poway. This is where temperatures actually have a bigger range. I would say on average anywhere from 65 degrees on the low end, going well up to 85, sometimes 95. I've seen it get pretty hot in areas like Escondido or Poway. So it's important to keep that in mind, that if you're on the coast and it's a beautiful 75-degree summer day, you can go inland by 20 minutes and it can easily be an extra 15-20 degrees. So the trade-off with that is just hotter summers. You are going to get larger homes, you're going to get newer construction and some really great schools. So just think family-friendly master plan living with some of those areas on that inland North County. And you're going to see very similar temperatures in East and South County, areas of Chula Vista, La Mesa, especially Santee. Things are definitely going to heat up in those areas. So I would expect hotter weather over there as well, longer commutes, but way more bang for your buck because these are more of booming areas with some new development. So my tip to you on that one is before deciding, drive each of these 4 zones. You can literally do it in just one weekend and you're going to feel how different everything from the paces, the air, the energy, and that's going to really help everything click. And once you've actually got a feel for where you want to live, well, now you actually got to line that up with where you actually work. So let's talk a little bit about where the job hubs are and the commute realities. And unlike most cities, San Diego doesn't just have one major job center. We literally have clusters. So I wanted to break this down into kind of the top 5 job hubs. And the first one being University Town Center, Torrey Pines, and Serena Valley. This is going to be very central here in San Diego, but this is where all the biotech and tech is happening. Then you have downtown San Diego, where you have a ton of law, finance, creative, and startups. Then you have Mission Valley and Kearny Mesa, which is going to be a lot of insurance, logistics, and healthcare. Of course, we have North County, where you have Carlsbad, Vista, Oceanside. There's a ton of manufacturing happening here. Biotech, solar, and military. There's also a ton of hospital hubs all over San Diego County, but the 5th top hub is going to be South Bay, where you're going to have military bases, you're going to have logistics, a lot of border industries, and again, more hospitals. So my commute tip to you guys is 15 miles here does not mean 15 minutes by any means. You have the 805, the 5, the 15, and the 8. They all jam up so fast, especially in those peak rush hour times, anywhere from 7 to 9 a.m. and of course 4 p.m. to about 6:30 p.m. So make sure you are mapping your commute during those rush hour times before you commit on a certain location. And if you're hybrid or you're remote, that's great because you're going to have a lot more flexibility on location. And guys, if you're watching this video and you're seriously considering a move to San Diego, let's connect. This is something we do every single week, as we help anywhere from 2 to 4 families, individuals, retirees relocate here to San Diego every single month, and we just love giving that real local guidance. So if that's you and you're looking to make a smooth move right into San Diego, you can literally scan this QR code right here. This will book a time to directly talk to me so we can help you figure out the best game plan moving forward. Now, let's talk about something that really shapes your day-to-day life here, which is going to be schools, community, and safety. Now, if you've got kids or maybe you're planning on having some kiddos, well, San Diego has a ton of really great family-oriented communities, but the key is making sure you match your family to the right school district. And some of the top school districts you're going to hear floating around are going to be ones like Poway Unified, which covers Forest Ranch, Poway, and Rancho Penasquitos. Then you have San Diego Union, which is going to be in areas like Encinitas and Solana Beach, Carmel Valley. Then you're going to have some other highly rated school districts like Carlsbad Unified School District, Coronado Unified, and Del Mar Union. And if you're not looking for public schools for your kiddos, well, there's a very strong private school scene here as well. You're going to have Cathedral Catholic, you're going to have Bishops, Francis Parker, and La Jolla Country Day. So there is a ton of family zones here. And some of my top picks are going to be Carmel Valley, Scripps Ranch, San Marcos, and East Lake. These are all built for families. I want you to think of sidewalks, community events, parks, and low crime. So my tip to you is check the school boundaries so carefully, because one street over can mean a completely different school district. And even if your kids go to private school, good public school zones are going to do so much better when it comes to resale value. Now let's move on to the star of the show, which is San Diego's weather. And I spoke a little bit about the microclimates already, but I want to break this down even further because San Diego's weather is absolutely legendary. I'm talking over 300 days of sunshine a year. We got coastal breezes and some super mild winters. But again, I really do want to emphasize those microclimates because they can change so fast. It can be 65 and foggy over in Del Mar and sunny and 85 degrees in Rancho Bernardo. And this is all within a 25-minute drive. So I really want you to think coastal, which is going to be cooler and foggier mornings. And then inland, let's say 20 minutes from the coast, this is going to be warmer, it's going to be sunnier. And then if you go even more east of that, this is where you're going to have hotter summers and cooler winters. And my tip to you is if you hate those gloomy mornings or those overcast days, you're probably going to want to stay away from the coastal zones. Just get 20 minutes, 15 minutes inland, because we have May gray and June gloom here. And that can be honestly days, if not weeks, of that overcast weather. Next up is one of the biggest lifestyle decisions you are going to have to make here, and that is beach life or suburban life. And the biggest differences between the two is with that beach lifestyle, that means you're literally at the coast. You're going to get that walkability to coffee, shops, maybe even surf, but you're going to get things like smaller lots. You're going to get older homes and definitely higher prices and definitely much more of a vacation energy and a lot more foot traffic. And when it comes to that suburban life, you're going to get things like newer homes. You're going to get more space, garages, air conditioning, and it's very likely it's going to be more inland or probably in North County, San Diego. But it's going to be much more family oriented. You're going to have less tourism and some really good public schools. And this is not at all about one being better than the other. It's what actually works for you, right? Do you want to have that walkability to go surf in the morning or go grab a coffee right out front of your house? Or do you want to be able to have space in your backyard to grill while the kids are playing? Now, that brings us into our next one, which is a huge question, and that is, how far does your budget actually go? And I say this to literally every single client. It's your home that you're describing right now. It definitely exists, but does it exist in your price range? Now, here's a quick budget reality check. If you are under $900,000, well, you're realistically going to be looking at smaller detached homes, condos, and townhomes, typically inland. And let's say your budget is right from about $900,000 going to about $1.2 million. This is where you're going to start to see some nice starter homes and even some mid-size homes in some good suburbs. Or if you're about $1.4 million to about $2 million, this is where you're going to find some beautiful coastal townhomes. You're going to find larger homes in some really good school districts. And then once you break that $2 million price point, that is where you're going to find some luxury homes in some top tier locations, especially if you want to find some really nice views. So my tip to you on that one is don't just search by home prices, start to search by price per square foot and the lot sizes, because that's going to give you a much better apples to apples comparison on these areas. Next up is what locals know that you don't know yet. So there's a lot of things that the internet and Zillow just can't tell you, right? Like which communities get marine layer for half the year, which beach neighborhoods have Airbnbs galore, or which school district actually performs better despite similar scores. And locals and people that have lived here for a long time also know things like where the traffic actually really gets bad on a Tuesday morning, or which neighborhoods are actually walkable, not just because it says that on paper, and where the Melrose taxes actually will sneak into your monthly payment. And those are just a few of the reasons on why it's so important to work with somebody that knows these areas and has helped people that are in the same boat as you, because they're going to tell you things that you can't see online, and you're going to hear the real truth on some of this stuff. So guys, again, all of our information is just right there down below. So if you need any help or guidance, that is what we do, and that is what we'd love to help you do. This next one is a big one I hear all the time, and that one is renting first versus buying right away. And a lot of people wonder, should they rent first to get their bearings? And my answer is, it really depends. Renting first actually gives you a lot of flexibility. You can kind of explore neighborhoods without any pressure, but it also means you're paying top rent and you're gonna miss out on a ton of appreciation. And then when it comes to buying right away, well, it locks in your payments and you start building equity right away, but you have to be super clear on your choices when it comes to that neighborhood and lifestyle. And I've actually seen this play out with clients in the past where they end up renting for a year, then 2 years goes by, and they're like, okay, now I actually wanna buy in this neighborhood. I know I like it, only to find out, holy smokes, I can't even afford it anymore. The prices have gone up that much, that fast. So my tip on that is if you're buying, spend a few days living that lifestyle in that neighborhood that you like, right? Go drive the neighborhood, go to the local coffee shops, check drive times, walk the streets, do all this stuff, and it will give you so much more confidence. And I think you'll figure it out a lot sooner than you think. Next, let's talk about condos versus single family homes, because not every budget can really swing for a detached home, and that's totally okay. And this is something we get so many people reaching out about is they say, Nick, I have $800,000. I want a single family home that's 2,000 square feet. And it's like, you honestly, realistically cannot find that anywhere in San Diego County. And if you do, it's gonna be in a not good neighborhood. And I think it's important to have an open mind towards condos and townhomes because they're really great for a lot of different reasons. And the first one being, they're very low maintenance, whether you're a retiree or somebody that works a lot and you don't want to have to deal with all the exterior maintenance and landscape maintenance. Well, it's perfect for that. Or maybe you're a first-time buyer or you have a lower budget. Well, great. This is a good time to start building equity with a condo or townhome. Plus, you have a ton of lock and leave convenience if you are looking for a second home here. And if you're trying to get as close to the beach as possible and you have that lower budget of under $1 million, a condo or townhome is a great way to get in and kind of have that trade-off for less square footage, but getting at the beach and having all that walkability. The next thing you need to be aware of is off-market home sales, because here in San Diego, some of the best homes honestly never hit the MLS, and about 1 out of 5 home sales in San Diego are quietly sold off market through agent-to-agent networks. And this is especially true in a lot of the coastal areas or more of those luxury markets like Rancho Santa Fe, Del Mar, parts of La Jolla. So if you're only searching on Zillow, you're honestly missing out on a ton of inventory. So my tip for that one is pretty obvious. It's work with a professional, work with an agent who has that local reputation and can help surface those off-market deals so you're not missing out on anything. Another is the vibe and community feel, because this is hands down one of the best parts about San Diego is every pocket has its own vibe. Let's say you're looking for that upscale beach luxury. Well, La Jolla is probably your calling, or maybe you want that surf culture in a awesome food scene. Encinitas is going to be a hit for that. Or you want that suburban energy where you have shopping centers and accessibility. Carmel Valley is going to be amazing. Or maybe you're looking for breweries, culture, and a ton of walkability. Head down to North Park. And the best part is you can literally switch up your lifestyle daily just within a 15-20 minute drive sometimes. So I think it's really important to go spend time in these areas and ask yourself, where do you feel energized? Where do you feel at home? And I think a big tip is, well, at least for this one, is go spend time in some of these areas and go grab lunch or go grab dinner and just 3 of your top picks and just people watch. You're going to learn so much so fast, and it's going to be more than any Google review or the internet will even tell you. Last but not least, let's talk about the biggest mistake I see people make when they move here to San Diego, and that's picking the house first and then trying to force your lifestyle around it. And I see this one happen firsthand all the time. A lot of people call us and they're coming into town for a few days and they want to look at these 7 houses, and we always ask, have you explored the neighborhood? Do you know anything about that area? And 9 times out of 10, they don't. They've just literally seen beautiful pictures on Zillow where there's a big backyard, it's remodeled, but it doesn't even match up to the lifestyle that they're looking for. It's 40 minutes from the beach that they love or the downtown area they love, or it's 30 minutes from the school that they want their kids to go to. And they end up just resenting that commute that they now have to do 4 or 5 times a week, or maybe they don't like that microclimate over there, or the fact that they never actually have that lifestyle that they originally wanted when they were moving to San Diego. The smart way to do this is by picking the lifestyle first. Figure out what it is you want out of this next community. Is it the walkability? Do you want to be close to the beach? Do you want to have shopping centers within 5 minutes of your house? Then once you figure that out, go find the neighborhoods that actually support that and then go shop for the home that makes sense for you. Now, look, moving to San Diego is one of the most exciting decisions you're ever going to make, but it's also one of the biggest decisions you're going to make. And without having that local insight, everything can be so confusing, which is pretty much the exact reason on why I do what I do. So if you're seriously considering a move to San Diego, I would love to help you avoid that trial and error and just help you get it right the first time. So if you need that guidance, feel free to scan this QR code right here. You can book a time one-on-one with me and we'll figure out a game plan specifically tailored for you. I'd love to help. And I also have a video here that will probably be pretty helpful too. I'll see you there.